Hey everyone, Greg here with the Bullet Hole. Today I wanted to cover home defense firearm selection. With the pandemic going on, we have a lot of new shooters coming in looking at firearms to defend their homes with. And so I kind of want to cover a few of the options that are somewhat viable and some that might require a second thought. So on the table here, I have a Mossberg Maverick 88 12 gauge pump action shotgun. I have a CZ Scorpion carbine, so this is the 16-inch rifle variant. It's 9mm. We have our Glock 19 Gen 5 and a Glock 34 Gen 5, which are both 9mm handguns. With that being said, all four of these guns are range rentals, so you can come to our shop, rent them out on the range, have fun with them, test drive them, see what you like, and go from there. So first and foremost, when we talk about home defense, generally this is the first pattern of firearm that comes to mind is pump action shotgun. They're simple, they're reliable, they're just a staple of the American gun community, and I have nothing against them. I own plenty of shotguns. The big thing is though, is that for people that are buying potentially only one or two firearms to defend themselves with, this might not be the best option compared to, say, one of these handguns or a pistol caliber carbine, or even an AR-15, full house 223 or 5.56. So first things first on the shotgun before we go into some potentially better options to consider. With the 12 gauge shotgun, first and foremost, you have generally 5 to 6 rounds of capacity. A lot of people will say, well, I only need one good hit to end a threat in a home defense situation. Well, a couple things to think about. Number one, you do have to aim a shotgun. Generally, with good self-defense ammo, shotguns are going to hold about 6-inch groups with double-aught buck at 25 yards out to about 10-inch groups. So this gun does not blow holes in anything you point it in its general direction of. You do have to aim it. So that kind of kills the one myth of, hey, I point it in the general direction and press the trigger and the bad guys vaporize. It's not really true. So with that being said, we also have to realize that bad guys travel in packs. If I've got 5 or 6 rounds in this gun and there's 3 bad guys, I have to get 3 really good hits. And I don't really want a 50% ratio there with 6 rounds, having to worry about getting 3 good hits there and only having 3 rounds left over for whatever else, misses, hitting walls, obstacles, barricades, you name it. Part number 2 here would be the operation of said shotgun. With a pump action shotgun, in order to feed the next round, you do have to fully cycle the pump in order to fire the next round. Under stress, it has been shown that people fail to do that. They'll short stroke the shotgun just a little bit, pull everything back forwards, and now I've got a dead chamber. I don't have anything in the gun because I didn't fully operate the gun under stress. In the same vein, if I pull back on the pump while I'm pressing the trigger and firing the gun, the pump will lock up. So just to show you guys, firearm's clear. There's nothing on the loading gate right there, nothing, gun's clear. So if I run the pump forwards, shoulder the gun, and then pull back because I'm stressed out and I'm trying to anticipate recoil and all that stuff, and I press the trigger, the pump's locked in place. I gotta loosen up on the pump a little bit to be able to cycle it. So that's kind of a dangerous thing. If you're well trained and you're proficient in firearms, it's easy enough to get around. However, if you're new to this whole thing and you're not used to stressful situations or manipulating firearms, that could be a hindrance, because if I have to fire more than 1 round and I crank down on the gun and freeze up, that gun's not going to run for you. So you got to be smarter than the gun. However, stress does weird things to people. With that being said, in comes our CZ Scorpion. This little guy is a 9mm carbine. It's considered a rifle. You can get magazines anywhere from 10 to, I believe we're at 35 rounds from Magpul. So you've got plenty of options on ammunition. It's semi-automatic, so every time I press the trigger, gun fires. It's that simple. You have some really easy controls to run. Got an ambidextrous safety, ambidextrous magazine release. You've got an HK style cocking handle right here, so when I want to chamber the weapon, it's real simple. I just slap down on that little guy and boom, weapon's ready to fire. I don't have to pump anything every round. I just press the trigger. The other nice part there too With 9mm, I can get all of my 9mm self-defense ammo that I run in my carry guns, put it in here, and now I don't have to worry about things like over-penetration. With the shotgun, you've got buckshot flying all over the place, potential collateral damage. This gun is going to put one round exactly where I want it to go every time I press the trigger, so that makes it nice and safe. The other part too is on top of that, it's got a rail on the top. I could put a red dot sight on here. I could put all kinds of optics. I could do whatever I want there to make it easier for me to aim the firearm. Part 3, I've got an M-LOK rail up front. Makes it really easy to attach a flashlight to. I could put a vertical grip up here and do whatever I want. And the big reason why I brought up the flashlight though is because in home defense, a lot of people often overlook gun safety rule number 3, which is be aware of your target and what's beyond it. If you live in an apartment, if you shoot through a bad guy, who's beyond that? You've got paper thin drywall, you've got neighbors all over the place. You really have to worry about over penetration. Something like this, with a flashlight on it, would allow me to identify my target. Is it a threat or not? And identify what's beyond that target. So that's a very valid thing to think about. With shotguns, there are some light mounting options. They're not great though. A lot of them involve clamping the flashlight to the barrel or the magazine tube, and it's just kind of a messy solution, whereas this is nice and elegant. I've got M-LOK, I can bolt a light straight onto it. I can put a pressure switch wherever I want on here. It's just really, really simple setup. From there, we can also consider our venerable Glock 19 or Glock 34, or the gun in between, which is the Glock 17, which is kind of right in between sizes on these two guns. The reason why I bring these up is because a lot of people are also interested in carrying firearms. The Glock 19 is very easy to conceal with the proper holster and the proper belt, but it's also great for home defense because, again, I do have an accessory rail on here, so I could put a flashlight on this gun as well. That way I can identify my target. I've got night sight options all day long, got different sizes of magazines I can put in both of these guns, and there's a lot of different holsters, magnets, and different kinds of storage options to make this gun easy to stash somewhere in your house. The other part to consider too about a handgun is that if you have children around and you're just getting into firearms and you don't want to go out and pony up several $100s on a large gun safe, it's a lot easier to lock up a little bitty handgun than it is to lock up one of these large guns to keep away from children. Federal law requires us to supply a gun lock with a handgun right out of the box, and buying a small gun safe for a handgun is going to cost you $50 tops, generally speaking. And the reason why I say $50 tops is because I don't recommend any of the biometric safes or anything like that. I recommend keypad entry safes or keyed safes, one or the other. No biometrics whatsoever. That keeps the price down, number one. Number two, if your hands are wet, sweaty, or bloody, a fingerprint biometric scanner isn't going to work, whereas a keypad or a key will. So that's just a couple things I want everybody to think about today. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, 913-432-0050, or visit us on Facebook or Instagram. Have a great day.